Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today to talk about the Hellfire Dimension event that just got released. I've already beaten it. Very straightforward event. However, guys, I'll walk you through each of the nodes in terms of which teams I used overall. And no, I did not have to use the Hellfire Club. However, remember that this game mode is intended for the Hellfire Club. So as you can see, once you complete it officially, it does reset in 20 hours or so that way you can give it a second try, because you can do this successfully 2 times for all the rewards. So that's why it's good to be, obviously building this up. Remember, guys, we have 2 weeks to do this, so lots of time. Take your time with it, and then if you have access to Hellfire Club, this is also gonna be notable. But I will say though, during my run, the MVP for sure was, without a doubt, Old Man Logan, especially if you have him higher built up. And even slotting him at an isolate healer actually helped out to sustain the rest of my team. So I'll walk you guys quickly through the nodes, as well as what I had difficulties with. And I also have gameplay footage on the hardest node, in my honest opinion, from the entire playthrough. Let's get to it. So as I alluded to in my prep videos, guys, make sure that you're bringing in characters like Nightcrawler and Storm. As you can see in my first note here, characters like Jean Grey, Shadow King, Emma Frost, they're going to be super duper useful as well. Don't forget, Shadow King, Jean Grey, and Storm, Emma Frost, X-Men, they were all used in my Age of X progression, so they're going to have value here earlier on. But without a doubt, the MVP of this entire game mode is going to be Old Man Logan. He is absolutely going to carry. And if you need that little bit of extra sustain, feel free to switch Logan to a nice weight healer, as he's going to get a lot of turns, so he can actually provide that support without question for the team. Note 2, you can see here, I'm still building up energy. I didn't change any of my characters here, but where I started to pivot was note 3 here, where I brought in my Nightcrawler. And as well, like I said, the main core 4 has actually stayed the same with mission 4. I believe mission 5, I did bring in Beast just to bring in a little sustain in case we actually needed a special and ultimate ability. Mission 6, you're going to finally face up a challenge where there's a couple of burst enemies, like a Silver Sable, I believe was kind of one of the big ones. There's a couple of big ults from the enemies, so it made sense to bring in a team like Death Seed to actually just soak that damage. But as well, what I really like about this team is that Magneto can blind. You don't need this team built up. They're really there just to soak up damage. And then once again, I brought up my core team again to clean things up. And that was probably one of the trickier ones, without question. But Mission 7, guys, without question, is the hardest node of this entire game mode, because of the fact that you'll likely be needing multiple sacrifices, as you see on screen here. And this is also going to be the gameplay video that I have at the end of this video, so that way, if you guys are following a similar strategy, remember when we talked about saving up those storm charges? Well, they are going to be fully utilized here, because we're up against an enemy Odin, and if you don't have Storm on this team, it's going to be very hard to get through him, especially if you don't have the Hellfire Club synergies. After Note 7, with the last node, I basically just brought in this exact same 5-piece team that got the job done here, and they cleaned things up. And once again, it's interesting how they never have really the hardest node in the last sections, usually like the second last or third last. So again, guys, hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this is able to help you guys push through. But again, that core piece of Old Man Logan with Shadow King, Jean Grey, Emma Frost, and then again Storm in those select situations is what ultimately helped me get through this game mode. So guys, let me know down in the comments below. But now that we've gone through the full overview of all the different nodes, let's show you now the gameplay footage here of node 7, which I believe is the hardest node going through this. So for this, guys, again, a lot of these characters were brought up for Age of X. So Shadow King, Emma Frost, and Jean Grey, they are gear tier 20, right? To be honest, I don't know if you can get this done without gear tier 20. Maybe you can at gear tier 19, but you'll likely be needing multiple attempts and heals. And I don't recommend using power cores to heal for this. This is just a limited time event, but keep in mind we have 2 weeks, so you can still technically do daily attacks each day to get ahead with it, right? So just food for thought. I got Old Man Logan in the middle there, just because he's gonna get hit the most. But again, because of him having isolate healer, he is going to be providing some sustain for the team, which is really notable. All right, let's get into it. So for the gameplay here, guys, keep in mind this is after 2 attempts of sacrificing their initial attacks, because you'll see at the beginning the Lizards, the Kestrels, and the Iron Patriots, they're all going to get their abilities unleashed here. Unfortunately, they didn't last long enough for Odin to use a special. It is what it is. So we have to deal with the special with this team, but this is the A team that we brought in, right? So you once again have to just wait for these abilities to unload. And then finally, once our turn, even though my Old Man Logan didn't have great cooldowns, so it might be something you want to watch for in the node before, make sure he has a special and ultimate ready. Even despite that setback, we still also are able to get things done with the right amount of RNG here. So you still have to wait a bit. You can see why this one is so problematic. Just look at all the attacks they're getting through. And finally, we get a chance to use Old Man Logan, use a special, granting him a revive, but as well, we get the assisted attacks from Jean Grey, which is very notable. Now, when you're able to get the taunt off, remember that Storm ultimate that we saved? This is why it's very, very important that you build her up, guys, because look at how much damage she did at gear tier 19. Activate the Shadow King ultimate as well, just to do some more damage on Odin, but as well give us a bit of a heal and some supportive buffs on the team. Focus Odin down as hard as you can. Even though he gets a special off, it doesn't stop us from actually taking down this round. Now, back-to-back Old Man Logan special and ultimate. This is going to set the pace here and actually flip Invisible Woman from stealth to being vulnerable now. But again, we can't switch focus here. Odin has to still be taken down, because if he gets his ultimate off, it's good game. Thankfully, with the ultimate ability from Old Man Logan, one of the Franklin Richards is also ability block, but you can see how hard we're hitting with all the damage that we're doing. Now, you should be left with just a couple of Franklins and Invisible Woman if the RNG was right. Take down the enemy Franklin that's not ability blocked, right? And then also keep in mind, we have to take down the following Franklin Richards afterwards. I would focus on him, even though Invisible Woman, you know, technically she's about to get her turn. I think Franklin Richards, he just has more potent abilities. He can set up the stage easier for Invisible Woman, so I just recommend taking him down, especially given the fact that he can use the silence on the team. So once he's taken care of, be mindful here, because remember, you still need to have your characters somewhat in a healthy place if you want to continuing onward into the last node to finish things off. But for us, thankfully, we have Old Man Logan kind of using his heals and providing that healing back to the team. And then we're slowly just trying to get our energy regeneration back for our team, so that way we're in a good spot. And that actually set us up for the last and final node here, guys. So again, I only like making gameplay on the footage that I think that's going to be valuable to you guys. This was for sure hands down the most difficult node that I went through. Even the last node, I just one-shot it quite easily, and Old Man Logan absolutely carried. So I hope this helps you guys out. Hopefully you're able to complete and get these rewards. Remember, you can do the runs twice in a row, and then afterwards, that is what it is. I thought this was a good balance of challenge, and actually maybe even a little bit too easy, but the nice thing was we didn't have to invest in Hellfire Club. So I hope this helps. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.